FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
Getting back to the question that was asked to Tom about what changes did you see immediately after 9/11, I think that can help explain how we got to where we are right now.
I will tell you, because that was my first day on the job, that 9/11 was taken very hard by the workforce, that we had failed the country. We had failed to keep Americans out of harm's way. However, that was not the case with much of the leadership. Leadership was really in denial. I would hear the following phrase, which I think one person in particular probably had regrets ever saying more publicly, that 9/11 was a gift to NSA. A gift. It was really an interesting bifurcation. A very secret organization knowing that we were part of a systemic failure called 9/11. I will also tell you 9/11 could have been prevented. One of the things that's not well publicly known is that part of my whistleblowing involved being called as a material witness in the short months after 9/11 for 2 9/11 congressional investigations in which I gave highly classified information, operational intelligence, information that NSA had never shared, or information it did not know it had that was never shared, that if it had been shared and properly acted upon, probably would have stopped 9/11 alone, separate from any other intelligence agency or department. But in those few short weeks after 9/11, I will also tell you it wasn't just the executive branch. You had Congress literally coming to NSA with an open checkbook. How much money do you need? How big a check do you want us to write? Essentially what happened is that even on the Trailblazer program, Hayden and company doubled down on that program. And so you saw this vast expansion of what was already largely in place before 9/11, but a vast expansion of the military-industrial surveillance, congressional, cybersecurity complex. And so the profit motive, which I certainly give the free enterprise system, really became a huge driving force as to how much money could we make off of this crisis. As Rahm Emanuel has so well said, and I paraphrase, you never want to let a good crisis go to waste. Trailblazer became a funding vehicle. And all kinds of contractors literally bellied up to the Trailblazer bar in order to participate in the feeding frenzy. Values and ethics were incredibly skewed. The very best of American ingenuity and innovation, much had been solved prior to 9/11 to deal with asymmetric threats, to deal with terrorism, to deal with all kinds of low-intensity conflict. Essentially what was happening post-Cold War were abandoned and discarded. Most all of the eggs went into the Trailblazer mouth, okay? And it was all-consuming. It was an abysmal failure. It never delivered anything. And yet many, many contractors became multimillionaires as a result of that program alone, just that one program. So you have this really a bifurcation that took place in 9/11, where 9/11 became a profit center for many, many companies aligned with the military-industrial complex, the very thing that Eisenhower warned us about during his farewell address. And so this is the real challenge this country faces. Is that really the future of governance? Is that we now have a very significant alignment, or even some would say an unholy alliance between the government and the corporate side of America at the highest levels. And it's become institutionalized. It's normalized behavior, and Congress is largely complicit. It's become a jobs program.